Hello, I'm Shelagh Fogarty, daily presenter, weekdays on LBC. I'm about to be shown some of my supposed best bits from 2025. No idea what's coming. I'm sure I'll have my memory jogged at the same time you're having yours jogged as we watch it together. So let's watch it, and I'll maybe pause every now and again and say what I think about what we were hearing. Hello there, good afternoon to you. Now, quick sort of health warning first of all. I'm going to be horrible this hour. I'm going to be really horrible about a lot of people. People on trains, buses, wherever, planes now as well, it happens on, where they just play their music or have a conversation on speakerphone as though they're sitting in their own living room. I am, and forever will be, astounded when people do this. I'm astounded every single time. There might be reasons here and there why some people don't. There might be reasons here and there why some people need to listen to their phone in that way. You tell me if you're one such person. But most people are just being horribly selfish and immature. They're being giant toddlers, narcissists who don't give a stuff about anybody else's comfort. Most people who called that day, if I remember correctly, agreed with me, broadly speaking, that it was an outrage. When it came to letting children play videos and cartoons, whatever, out loud, people tended to be a bit softer than I was about it. I still think children shouldn't play things very loudly. Just because you're a child doesn't mean you don't. It's a perfect time to actually teach somebody how to behave in a public place, because it's news just in. A train isn't your bedroom.
I'm half Pakistani and I'm half English.
Yeah.
Now, when I was ending my time in high school, around 14, 15, 16, I was heavily considering a future in the armed forces.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Sandringham, train as an officer, and that was dead set on what I wanted to do. At that same time, the Brexit conversation was starting to become big in the UK. You had UKIP really coming to the forefront, and I'd always described myself as a very patriotic person. I was raised by the white side of my family. I considered myself British, English. If someone asked me where I was from, I would say Manchester. When that period of time came about and I felt that hatred that I hadn't really felt for a long time since I was very young, kind of come back to the country,
yeah.
I had to really reconsider how I felt towards dying for a country that seemed like it didn't really want me in it.
Yeah. I want to say to you that if you can just try and get hold of a bit more optimism and positivity about the UK, you will be, if you stay here, absolutely invaluable to it.
Yeah, well, I would love to be, Sheila, but the reality of it is I'm getting out of here.
I remember this call vividly. Everything about how that young man spoke about his original ambitions told me that he was somebody you'd want in your country. A great young lad planning on joining the armed forces. And even when he started to say, I'm done, I'm going to leave, he was leaving or thinking of leaving, and I hope he doesn't, but he was thinking of leaving for those same reasons, because he's got ambition, he's got self-respect, he's got pride in himself, he's got plans. And those are things that we should be encouraging. The Chancellor did allude to increasing sanctions on Russia, and she said sarcastically, in humour, but sarcastically, I'm not referring, or I don't refer to the honourable member for Clacton. I mean, she was making a joke about the leader of your party being a Russian asset.
Rachel Reeves has made a habit of cracking jokes while destroying people's lives in this country.
Is he a Russian asset?
She's already driven a farmer.
She's already driven a farmer
to suicide.
Is he a Russian
because
asset?
of the increase. Because of the increase.
Is he a
you
Russian
obviously
asset?
know
The reason I push so hard on that simple question, is Nigel Farage a Russian asset, is it should be very easy to answer that question. For example, hello Sheila, are you a Russian asset? No. Hello Sheila, are you a spy for Vladimir Putin? No. Do you find it acceptable for all migrants and asylum seekers to be regarded with suspicion as predators simply because some are predators?
You know something, and I know you're not going to like this, but my answer really to that would be, I'm afraid, yes. I have a daughter that works in London. She lives in Clapham. Every time she walks home, I worry about her. It just seems to be more coming from immigrants than anywhere else. And therefore, my point is, I would rather be safe than
Hang
sorry.
on. What's your evidence for that?
But Sheila, forgive me, broadcasters like you, they come out and they say, well, what evidence have you got? The evidence really is the evidence that's splashed all over social media, that's splashed all over the newspapers. There are more and more...
And you've examined that. You've examined those... Well, so what you're saying... Listen, Colin, you and I both abhor sexual violence, clearly. But I think that you have revealed to me today that because you see something frequently enough on a newspaper front page or an algorithm on your feed or any other feed, that you're prepared to just throw out critical thinking and to soothe yourself maybe, or just because it's an anxiety for your daughters, and I understand that, you've decided to set aside critical thinking and decide that you're just going to think all migrants are rapists.
To me, if a migrant who is here in the country illegally is found to have raped a girl or a woman or sexually assaulted a girl or a woman, that is very serious. If a man born and raised in this country, like, say, Wayne Couzens, is found to have abducted, raped and murdered a woman, Sarah Everard, deeply serious, doesn't get more serious than that, utterly horrific. The way to come at those stories isn't about the colour of the person's skin or their migrant status in the country. There are questions around the illegal migrant status in the country. I'd rather have a discussion about why politics isn't getting that right than decide that because some illegal migrants or immigrants to this country had committed sexual crimes, that's something I'm going to put in the basket of, oh, it's a migrant issue. That's why I went to such pains with him to really get into why he has suddenly decided that sexual violence against women in this country is a migrant issue.
I don't think every teenage boy on his way home from school today is planning a mass killing in the local primary school.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that...
You've accused me and others of moral panic. I'm having a discussion. That's all I'm having.
Yeah, but it's the way that you've sort of...
I look like an exhausted head teacher dealing with recalcitrant... That's not going to be included.
Played these games.
No, but hang on. And I'm going to go to what I went to again. I was reading the reflections of somebody who produces and makes games, right? And
that's reasonable.
Thank you. And the paragraph before it, I talked about other matters. I'm not sitting here going, oh my God, throw out all your kids' games, throw out their computers, their internet chat rooms with guns. That, Alex, if I may say so, is moral panic. What I'm having is a discussion. And if you don't like elements of the discussion, that's no reason to A, patronise me, and B, describe my conversation as moral panic. It's not moral panic.
Oh, I get right narky sometimes, don't I, with some of the callers. Moral panic. I don't think I'm in a moral panic. It's difficult not to be sometimes with the stories that swirl around and the kind of claims being made politically in our country at the moment. But we've got plenty to worry about, but don't panic.